We live in a world ruled by tyranny, where knowledge is suppressed and ignorance is glorified. A world where propaganda and misinformation travel the airways at the speed of lies. But in the midst of the violence and chaos, a great awakening is taking place. And as the media empires continue to collapse, a new network is forming. A network of truth, a network of courage, a network of awareness. Peace and greetings. You are now tuned into the Network of Awareness podcast radio station, where we examine current events, politics, health, finance, and topics of cultural relevance in America and throughout the world, while bringing you insightful interviews with guests that will both educate and inspire you. And now, your host of the Network of Awareness podcast radio station, Aura the Informationalist.
Please just tell me what's happening to me in plain English without the mumbo jumbo.
My aura is a network full of awareness and gifts like Aura, the informationalist.
How you doing? How you doing?
Yes, peace and greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world. Welcome to the Network of Awareness. This is all the informationist coming to you live and direct on this Wisdom Wednesday episode called Jealous One's Envy. This is season 5, episode 46. And this is a correction episode because we've come across some information. I actually came across some of this information right after I did my live broadcast about these simps, about these police officers, if you even want to call them that, from the Scorpion unit that basically killed Tyre Nichols. And as I said, I was half right. It was a hit. But it wasn't the type of hit that I thought it was. Because if y'all brothers and sisters remember, I was saying something about it being a Masonic hit, which usually these types of hits are. But this wasn't. This was something a little bit more simpish, a little bit more foolish, and a little bit less organized, but still organized. So my apologies to the Nichols family for even suggesting that the mother or father had something to do with this, or the family at all, because they didn't. But of course, this is supposedly alleged information, but we all know what the truth is. So we're going to talk about this jealous one's envy, because the officer that I was talking about the other day, Healy, supposedly had a relationship with the girl who is now had a relationship with Tyre Nichols. So Tyre Nichols has a relationship with the ex-girlfriend of the officer Healy. And that's the same dude that whipped somebody's ass something awful at a prison when he was a correction officer. And we're going to talk about this. All right, we're going to correct our error, my error, in assuming the wrong, or at least assuming half wrong of what is quite obvious when you look at the footage. But you know what they say, like that song I like to sing, Simping in the Darkness. Let's go, brothers and sisters. Let's get into this, all right? Let's go.
tuned in to the network of awareness.
Let's get dialed in, brothers and sisters. So, I had spoken to a brother, friend of mine, that had contacted me because, I've had police officers on the show, and I'm going to continue to have police officers on the show. I've had correction officers on the show. I've had undercovers, and the only thing I haven't had yet is a sheriff, which I'm pretty sure that I can make that happen, especially here in Florida. I can get a sheriff from Florida to get on the show, but that'll come in the future as far as interviewing a sheriff. But we need to be aware about jealousy. We need to be aware about envy. And the reason I call this Jealous One's Envy, it's an old album and song from Fat Joe. That's what I remember. Yeah, that's what I think is from Fat Joe, Jealous One's Envy. And I thought it was a very great title for this show. And as you can see in the info box, simping ain't easy, but it sure is damn sloppy. It's sloppy as hell, isn't it? These dudes were sloppy, and I'm glad they were, and I'm glad they got caught. And as you can see in the artwork, there's fire torching them. The death penalty does exist in Tennessee. So hopefully these brothers will have a severe punishment for first degree murder, not second. This was all well premeditated. And the other brothers that are with Healy on this, Heasley or whatever his name is, they're stupid. They're dumb. But you see, this is a prime example of how the ego will fight to the very death to defend itself. This is also a prime example of how when you are in ego, you are edging God out. You are completely eliminating the Most High from any thought that is in your heart, which is the mind, okay, according to the Most High, according to scriptures. These dudes, they don't have a spiritual inkling in their body that is even close to respecting the Most High's laws and commandments. Not one. They probably break all of them all the time. And they probably, amongst the 5 of them, have a high amount of demons on them. They probably got a shitload of demons on them. And they probably had those demons on them for a long time now. And this scorpion force, I mean, I'm pretty sure that with time, with proper etiquette, when it comes to journalism, that a lot of the true journalists out here are going to find a shitload of dirt on these particular men. I'm not going to even call them brothers because they're not brothers. These are miscreants. This is the vile of this planet, okay? These are not men. They don't operate as men, and you can't even call them police officers because this is no different than any so-called white cop that kills, okay? And this is why I always say to my peoples, to my network of awareness, everybody that listens to the show, stop getting caught up in that race shit. Race doesn't exist. You're going to still have it, though. You're still going to have these dummies, no matter how old, right? Because I know people that are in their 60s still stuck on this race shit. There's men that are in their late 50s still broadcasting race, Negro, black, white, yellow, Asian. They still on that bullshit. And they're never going to stop. That's their MO. That's what gets them attention. Because they know that people are still dumbed down into believing in these social constructs. So they're going to believe in them because they know it sells. They know stupidity sells. You know how they say sex sells? Well, stupid sells too. Dumbness sells these days. And this whole race card is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, especially even when it comes to slavery, because melanated people are not the only people that have been enslaved. When you do your research, when you go back in history, there's been a lot of so-called white people that have been enslaved. And guess what they were called when they were slaves? They were called Negroes. But you see, most people that stick to the race card, you know what they are? To the core of them, they're lazy. I can't even call them ignorant because most of them do know. But let's just say they're ignorant and lazy. and they'd rather stick to what's easy. So that's why they would say, oh, Negroes are Negroes are this, Negroes are the true Jews and all this bullshit. When in reality, yeah, melanated brothers are the true Israelites, okay? But those melanated people are scattered through all four corners of the earth. And now, since the bloodlines have been so diluted, those very Israelites or those very true Jews, they spiritually are scattered across, so they can have all different types of complexions. But to try to explain that to a dummy, you're better off having a conversation with a wet mop. And I guarantee you, the conversation that you have with a wet mop is going to be more meaningful than the conversation you have with that type of individual. Trust me, I've tried it, and I've had better conversation with a wet mop. Now, I can tell you that with these dudes right here, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Now, what I'm going to do is, let me see if I can pull this video up, because I was sent a video, and it was from Willie D. It was Brother Kakam that sent me this. Shout outs to Brother Kakam. And I just want to have y'all listen to this real quick, because Willie D be bringing out some information, man. He be doing his thing. Who would have ever thought, right? Willie D from the Ghetto Boys. I got big cars. Everybody knows me. It's like I'm a superstar, but late at night, something ain't right. That dude, he very interesting, brothers and sisters. All right, so let me see if I could pull this video up. And where did I find it? Let me see here. I just had it yesterday, and see if we can pull this up. And let me transfer this over to my computer, because I just found it. So let's transfer to the Mac. And then I got some articles to read here too about this situation.
Charge your phone.
Jeez, damn commercials.
Recordings just got.
Jeez, wow. Gee willikers. So let me take that, since it has commercials, and I'm going to take that. I'm going to post that into my, I have a YouTube premium account for free. I don't know if I'll keep it. Maybe I'll keep it, because I kind of like when I don't have to deal with commercials. Those other although those other licensings that I would purchase, they were always suspect, because I guess YouTube cancels me so much that they cancel the licensing. So they were like, "Oh, you can have a premium account, Oren. We'll let you listen to commercial free stuff all the time. So let's put it up here and see what we get here. Let's go.
City employees have faced consequences.
Okay. All right. This is something completely different, but we're gonna listen to a couple of things. Now that I pulled this up, right? Most High makes no mistakes. And then I'm gonna bring it back here, and let's see here. Let me mute this real quick, and then I'm gonna play this, because I really wanna get this popping here. Let's skip these ads, and we're gonna get some Willie D action up in here. Okay. But I am gonna play the press conference stuff here too. So let me share this one more time in here. Oh yeah. This is Aura Man Savage. All right, so this is from a brother named Damn D POV. He has a YouTube channel, but this came from Willie D. All right, so we're gonna listen to both. We're gonna hear his little intro, and he's gonna use the word alleged a lot, because that's what these brothers do, and I respect it. I mean, it is what it is, but I can't stand when because. Yeah, we could, if you're on YouTube, you always got to say alleged. What they're doing too a lot now on social media, because of the censorship, is fucking insane. Oh, I got to take a deep breath, because sometimes I get so worked up off of this, but the censorship is insane, people, that now you got brothers and sisters always having to say, for entertainment purposes only, allegedly, I cannot validate this information, but this is what they're saying, all this nonsense. You know what I mean? When we do know what the truth is. And the reality is that this thing with the brothers that, the dudes that basically killed this man, this was definitely a hit. It don't take a rocket scientist. I think as a society, though, because of censorship, because Satan has a stranglehold on society. It's like because the lie has become so true in these days and times. And I really mean that, brothers. The lie is becoming the truth in Satan's realm. Now, our brothers and sisters know what the real deal is, right? And like I always say, my favorite book in the scriptures is the book of Isaiah, because Isaiah literally lived through actually over 4 kingdoms. It's actually 5 because he had kings in between, but over 4 kingdoms he has been able to witness, and through the Most High's word that worked through him was able to basically analyze and pretty much describe the spirit of the times, the zeitgeist of those kingdoms. And that's what the book of Isaiah is. It has so much truth in it. It's insane. But one of my favorite scriptures is, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. Now, brothers and sisters, man, this is what's going on these days. And these dudes were simping in the darkness. And they got caught, and I'm glad they got caught. See, because I'm not stuck on this race card thing. You've heard me say plenty of times. I don't know how many times I've said it on this broadcast. And I started saying it even more after I left that platform that I used to congregate in with brothers and sisters that I thought was really about the word, which they really was just about vainglory and vanity. But you always hear me say, like, I don't even like telling people in Puerto Rican. Sometimes I just do it just because that's the only way they understand. So it just makes the conversation go by quicker. But like I always tell y'all people, you're not these social constructs. I'm not Puerto Rican. I may be, Puerto Rican in people's eyes because that's where my family's from, right? But at the end of the day, I'm a spiritual being, man, having a physical experience just like you, all right? Because when you die and your spirit goes to wherever it goes to, especially when it's time for judgment, I highly doubt for anybody that the Most High is going to say, oh, we got a Puerto Rican coming to us. Time to judge this Puerto Rican. Time to judge this Negro. Time to judge this Jamaican. Time to judge this Irish man. Time to judge this Swahili woman. I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that the Most High is going to say, oh, you Swahili, right? Let me go judge you right now. Let me see what you've been doing, you Swahili woman. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. These are the social constructs that have been put here by Satan to basically, and the Most High, really, because the Most High just made us talk in all different tongues when we was trying to build the Tower of Babel. So, I mean, it's crazy how we're in supposedly this Gregorian calendar year 2023, and people are still stuck on this race thing. But you see, I'm glad that things like this happen because it really gets to expose Satan's lies. It really gets to expose the lie of this thing called race. Because usually, put it like this, if this was, let's say if Heasley was white, let's say if all the officers, 5 officers were white, let's just say that, right? And the Tyre Nichols, may he rest in peace, Tyre Nichols, let's say that he's still a black dude, right? And he happened to now be with the ex-girlfriend or ex-wife of a white officer. You know the spin that they would have put on this? It would have been even far worse. Now, let's take a listen to the latest, greatest propaganda. And this is just wicked to the core, man. You got to be a real piece of shit. You got to be a real lowlife to get so jealous that your ex, not even your woman, your ex homegirl, your ex-wifey, your ex-girlfriend is with another dude, and you over here want to hurt the dude that she's with that don't even know you from a hole in the wall? It's like, oh man, that's sad. But hey, this is what goes on. Listen, I'm pretty sure that my ex is with some other dude right now. She was with other dudes while she was with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think I'm going to get mad about who the dude is? Which I even have an idea who the dude is that she was sleeping around with. I think I don't know him, like never met him, but I know of him. And what's funny is he looks like he weighs about 110 pounds. And I know that I would be able to just damage this dude on so many different levels. But for what? The real demon is her. But in this situation, he's the dude Heasley's the demon, because it's not like she was cheating on him. She left him, you know, and for good reason, because she probably would have been dead too. He probably was a domestic violence abuser. He probably had a domestic violence sheet that is not even known. And unfortunately, domestic violence is pretty high with police officers and their wives. It's a thing statistically. And that's not coming from me. That's just based on data and research for the past couple of several decades, that it's been known that the stress that police officers go through, they usually bring it home and they take it out on their spouses, usually their wives. And they beat their wife's ass. The wife calls, nothing happens, and blah, blah, blah. And the cycle continues. Now, obviously, I'm saying that's not all police officers, but there are those that do that. So let's listen to this first video. Matter of fact, no, what we'll do is we're going to get into this, people. We're going to listen to the smoke and mirrors media, right? So we're going to listen to CNN first, because these clowns, let's watch how they spin this. Now, there's more people involved here that it looks like. Fallout from death of Tyre Nichols. It says deadly police stop, 3 fired personnel. So let's take a look at this, or let's listen to it.
Is in the wake of Nichols' killing. The latest, 2 EMTs and a fire department lieutenant have now been fired. So that's 3 in the fire department.
Good.
And a 7th Memphis officer.
And I'm glad that the EMTs got fired, because the EMTs, they are white. All right. They're white, but it looks like, let's see here. Yeah. The one EMT is white. And who else is it? Oh, and then one of the EMTs was black. And I'm pretty sure they knew Demetrius Haley. Okay, that's what his name is. I keep calling him Haley. Demetrius Haley. This is the culprit. This is the simp. They got the other simps, which is Edmund Martin, to Darius Bean, Desmond Willis Jr., and Justin Smith. Oh boy. And then you got Preston, the guy that was really Preston Hemphill. So Preston Hemphill was involved in this too. Looks like a so-called white man with glasses, and then the 2 MTs. And then also, who else was fired? Ex-fire lieutenant. Oh, well, she was a fire lieutenant, which is Michelle Whitaker. Interesting. It's interesting to see what her involvement is. She's probably the one that send the EMTs, because a lot of the fire department, that's how they operate their EMT/firefighters now. Oh, this thing, let me tell you something. Before we even play this thing right here is disgusting, man. This is disgusting. A young man who had so much life ahead of him, skateboarder, videographer or photographer, you know, probably was a cool person, man. Probably was a dude that, you know, from what I've been getting, like he's just a free-spirited individual doing his skateboarding thing, man. And shout outs to all the skateboarders, because I know a few skateboarders, man. They just cool peoples, man. They just love what they do and they do it. You know what I'm saying? And now one of them is gone. And I'm glad that all these people got fired, because this is what needs to happen on the regular. But I'm telling y'all right now, I highly doubt that they're going to talk about what we're going to present in here about Healy having a relationship with the woman that Tyre Nichols. Now they might have to, because we have social media now. Social media, what it does, people, is it puts pressure on commercial media now to bring out the truth, even when they don't want to. Not all the time, but a lot of times. And I know this to be true because I have a woman out in Georgia who is a reporter for, I believe, NBC or CBS. And she follows my Instagram page very closely. And what she did when I started talking about her watching me, she basically probably watches me on private mode now. So I can't see that she's following me. And I don't even think she's the only one. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn like I'm the man, but we be bringing some information here on the network of awareness. And we are going to continue to do that. So when I saw that the news reporters are following me, I'm like, shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, Thank you. That means I'm doing my job for the Most High, baby. Let's go.
Officer has been relieved of duty. Last week, 5 of those 7 officers were charged with second-degree murder and assault for Nichols' death. CNN's Ryan Young has the latest from Memphis. Also here, CNN Chief Law Enforcement and Intelligence Analyst John Miller. Ryan, first, the discrepancies between the video and this initial report. Talk to us about them.
Yeah, something that we're still digging into. And of course, you guys can ask John about this later, but I've been talking to Memphis Police Department officers.
Now, you said we're still digging into this. Now, I'm going to say allegedly, okay? They're still digging into this. Now, allegedly, they probably already know what the real deal is here, okay? But when you have, especially the Democratic Party, the Democratic administration that is now running the government and this country, they're really big on police reform, right? They want to do away with police. Now, to a certain degree, I agree with certain reforms that need to be done, okay? But not defunding the police where the police don't even exist no more. That I don't agree with. I do believe there are police officers that do their job ethically. And there's been people that have been saved by the police, or the sheriff's department. I remember when my daughter ran away from home when she was 15 years old, the sheriffs would always find her quick, except for one time, which I had to help them out, and then they got her. But there are police that do good jobs. But the thing about this is that the reason why I'm even playing the smoke and mirrors commercial media is because they're going to spin this, and we're going to see for how long they spin this. That's what we're going to see. We're going to see for how long they spin this bullshit about, this stop and all of it going wrong and all this other nonsense. Traffic infraction. The brother had no traffic infraction. He was a target to be eliminated by a jealous one that envies. That's it. Nothing else. But the reason why I'm playing is so you can see how the smoke and mirrors media works.
Officers today, and they've been telling me that when you file an initial police report, you also include a use of force part of the report as well. So if you had to escalate, maybe go hands-on or use some type of force, you usually include that in the police report. But these discrepancies kind of stand out to us as we've watched this video over and over. We'll take you through some of them. It says Nichols was an aggravated assault suspect, so that stood out to us as well. And then it said he was sweating profusely and irate upon exiting the vehicle. As we watched that video, you saw the officers actually approach that car with a lot of force. And then it says Nichols grabbed for Detective Martin's gun, and then Martin listed as a victim in this case. Of course, we don't see that initial pull for any officer.
This is what they put in the report, that Nichols grabbed for his gun. When you clearly hear the video and watch, he didn't grab no damn gun. He's like, what did I do? What did I do wrong? Like, I didn't do anything. Like, he was so confused, man. And I don't even watch the video no more because it's, even though many of us, like myself, have been desensitized. So I'll be honest with you, I've become desensitized to violence. I really have. And that's not a good thing, but I just have to admit it. I've seen some things where it's just like, it's not going to affect me like other people. I still have sympathy and all that and empathy in my heart. But, to a certain degree, I'm glad that I've been desensitized to a certain degree, because when it comes to situations that I get approached with in the streets, I'm ready to go all out, and I'm not afraid of death. I'm not a tough guy neither. All right. I am a man of the Most High, but I'm not afraid of death. So if somebody's going to try to kill me, it's definitely not going to be easy. But watching the video, is one of those things where you obviously see that he is so confused as to what's going on. And it's so sad because I can only imagine the type of terror that this young man was experiencing to the point where he was calling his mother, man. And this is going to stir up a lot of emotions, people. And this is why we got to understand the truth for what it is. We can't be accepting the darkness for the light on this one, because your Democratic administration is going to spin this. The police reform discussions are going to be brought out to the forefront. And I hope that the Nichols family don't even go to that State of Union address next week. I really hope they don't. because that's what's going to happen. They're going to push this gun reform thing, and then they're going to make that family, when this has nothing to do with gun reform or police reform or anything like that. I said gun reform, my apologies, but with police reform, it has nothing to do with it. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna push this, and we're gonna see how long the media is gonna be doing this. So let's continue. Well, we left off at Nichols grabs for Detective Martin's gun, which we know that's bullshit.
His weapon, and then it says Nichols pulled on an officer's duty belt, and there's no mention of the kicking or punching of him. And again, after talking to an officer who's worked in this police department for quite some time,
why.
He said that would be listed in that incident report at some time. Of course, not only have we called to see the full report that was initially put in, we also have asked for that 7th officer name that hasn't been released just yet. So there's still a lot of questions surrounding this initial report that has come out.
Okay, so John, are discrepancies like this in police reports common?
Well, there's nothing common about this incident because the report does not reflect what happened. So it's more than discrepancies. But Allison, it seems that as if they have built into the narrative a series of justifications. And it's interesting that you hear them mouth some of those at the end of the beating on tape, as if they're building a story that goes somewhere other than we dragged a guy out of a car and started beating him and didn't stop till he was in a fatal
Meaning
condition.
the part about he grabbed the gun. I think he grabbed the gun. I think he grabbed the gun. Like it starts to take on a life of its own.
Even more than that, because when you heard them talking in that scene we just played, one of them says, I said, hey, brother. And, he came out of the car and bam. Now, we've all seen that first video.
Right.
They're screaming at him before he's ever out of the car. And he's saying, what did I do? What did I do? I'm getting on the ground. Okay.
Exactly. He was even though he was confused and stressed, he was still calm. He's like, relax. Like, what did I do? Like, come on now. Like, chill out. Like, he's like, what's going on here? Like, he's complying. See, this is what I was telling my officers friends and the brothers that I've had discussions about this with, is that they never handcuffed this man. They never put handcuffs on him until he was pretty much dead and lifeless. Then the handcuffs went on him. That's how you know it's a hit, because the intention was never to put handcuffs on him. The intentions was to whoop his ass. Something that these men, these 5 officers, ex-officers, these 5 miscreants, these demons, this is what they've done many times before. And they've done it to who? To so-called black and brown men before. This is what they've done. This is nothing new. This is protocol for them.
So they're constructing a false narrative that is false from the beginning, not just the element.
Okay, that false narrative, a lot of police officers do that. A lot. It's not just them. There's a lot of police officers that do this. They always going to give some bullshit narrative in their report to cover their asses.
Elements they add at the end.
But they also know that they're being recorded, that there's a body cam that both is picking up the story, but also has the incident that doesn't reconcile with what they're explaining.
Now, I'm glad he brought that up, because they do know they have body cams and they kept them on, obviously, right? They didn't say, they malfunction and all that. But this is what I'm saying, people. The ego will fight to the very death to defend itself. Edging got out. We live in a country where police have complete immunity, and they know it. All of these cases prior, all these cases before this one, or incidences, I should say, with police brutality, what usually happens? I mean, look at what happened with Rodney King. That was an ass whooping like no other that we saw in the 90s. And they all got let go. None of them went to jail for that. They all got acquitted, people. How many times have we seen that in the general, commercial media segments that have, gone through the ages or through the decades here in America? But also, what about the cases that are not sensationalized? You know how many cases of brothers and sisters that have been brutalized by police all throughout the country? And I mean, literally all throughout the country, that never see a light of day in court and don't ever get to be talked about in the news media? Millions I said it, millions and millions of cases. All right. So when you have officers that are continuously getting away with this, who cares if they have the damn body cams on? They don't give a shit. Because in their mind, they're like, I'm going to get away with this. And I'm pretty sure that these 5 men thought the same thing. And let's just keep it real. I'm just going to be and I know this is probably going to upset some people, but we have to understand the reality of this. They still might. There's still a chance that after everything we've seen, that some jury, some courtroom is going to find them not guilty, because we live in a demonic, draconian system. And the justice system is about as wicked as you can get. You've heard me say it plenty of times before, brothers and sisters. The first time I walked into a courtroom in upstate New York, I was looking at the judges on the wall and all I saw was demons. I literally saw demons on the wall. And I felt this level of energy, me being the empath. And I didn't know it at the time when I was 18 years old that I was an empath. But me being an empath, I felt the energy that was resonating there. And it was so dark. It was like that type of energy that people have told me when they've gone to Hollywood, where it's so much demonic energy that your stomach feels like in pain and you feel nauseous. That's exactly what I felt when I first walked into a courtroom. So don't think that this is all over, all right? But this is also a great distraction, right? Like I did, the Great Distraction series. It's a great distraction. And the only reason that I am bringing it out on my show is because we have to understand it's a great distraction. But if we're going to understand it for what it is, we got to get to the core of it, to the truth of it, which we're going to do in just a moment. But it's very important to know the lies so you can better understand what is the truth. You have to understand the lie. You have to understand how Satan moves. And right now, Satan is desperate and busy. Satan don't even take a break anymore. Satan is working around the clock. It's 24/7. And this right here is no different. And what you're going to see, the powers that shouldn't be are going to really be spinning this as much as possible to bring about that police reform discussion.
Great question, but it cuts both ways. They know that the body camera is going to be blocked. There's all kinds of chaos and confusion. Not everything's going to be recorded so you can see it plainly. So they are building that narrative while they are still recording because they know they're still recording. So they're trying to say, when you look at this tape, here's the parts you might have missed. Here's something that they didn't account for. The poll camera, which captured it all clearly. There's something else here. In the report, they say...
That's right. See, I thought it was some type of helicopter, but it wasn't. It was actually the poll camera. And you see, this is that beast system where they have that surveillance, Big Brother surveillance, right? So you had the poll camera catching all of it, because that's the world we live in, brothers and sisters. There's cameras everywhere. And the one thing that I like about the cameras being on these poles is when you have car accidents, because back in the days, when somebody used to say, oh, this is what happened in the accident, they cut me off, and then it was your word against their word, and it was a nightmare to deal with the insurance companies. Now, those poll cameras show you exactly what happens. So whoever's lying gets caught in their lie, and it doesn't go well for them when it comes to insurance and being held at fault. So that's a good thing. But, you know, the surveillance thing, I like it to a certain degree, but not when it invades the privacy of our homes like it's doing now with technology. But let's continue, because this chief law enforcement and intelligence analyst, his name is John Miller. He is breaking it down.
A lieutenant, and they name him and give his shield number, made the scene, indicating he was there. This is the first time we have ever heard about a supervisor 2 ranks up having been present. So there's going to be a real question about, okay, this lieutenant got there when and was there for what part of this?
Brian, we know Tyre's funeral is scheduled for tomorrow. So what do we know about that?
Yeah, we do know that tomorrow Breonna Taylor's mother will be here. George Floyd's brother will be here. We just learned the vice president will be here at the funeral tomorrow. Put all this together.
Oh, there you go. The spinning is about to begin.
With a news conference that's supposed to happen just in the next few hours. so much still happening here. And obviously with this investigation, people asking questions about that initial incident report and just how many times this Scorpion unit was involved in incidents that haven't been reported or gone this far.
Exactly. And I bet you there's tons of them. There's too many to count. The Scorpion unit, this ain't their first rodeo. They've been doing this for a long time, probably since they first started.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Ryan Young, John Miller, thank you both very much.
Joining us now, Patrice Robinson, a member of the Memphis City Council. Councilwoman, thank you for your time. I want to pick up where that conversation left off. We know now that there are 2 additional officers who have been relieved of duty. We know one of them, his name was released. The other was not. Of this, Preston Hempel, the 6th officer, he was recorded as saying, "I hope they stomp his ass." He's not been fired. Can any of the officers stay on board with the Memphis Police Department? Any of the officers who were involved in this incident?
I do believe that we're going to be as transparent as possible, and I know that we're going to be fair as possible. I don't see anybody on that street at the time should work for the police department. Now, I may be wrong. The law might say something differently, but if they were there and they didn't intervene, they're all in the same boat together.
And I concur, Mrs. Robinson. I don't think anybody should be on there ever again. And I agree with the congresswoman, or the council member woman, city council, because, listen, Ray Charles can see that this was some trifling shit that just happened, and for these, this is why I say it's going to be interesting, because I don't care about them getting their job back. That goes without saying that they get their job back. I mean, that's ridiculous. What I'm concerned with is how this is going to be handled as far as with the charges that are brought, because that second degree, throw that out. We now know if it's brought out, okay? But if it's brought out that this man was having a relationship with one of the officer's ex-girlfriend, now we got to bring it up to first degree, plain and simple. And Willie D, I believe, is going to talk about that.
Yeah, the question is, can trust be restored if that Officer Hempel shows up on a scene and local people know that he's the person who said, "I hope they stomp his ass"? What degree of trust and confidence will they have that they will be taken care of within the bounds?
This is a little side note. The media never used to talk like this, where they say certain words like "stomp his ass." So it's interesting where we've come to. I would love for them to just plain out say it how it is. But I don't think that'll ever happen on the commercial media.
Of the law. Do you have a concern about the lack of disclosure of these additional officers being relieved of duty, not on the first day when it happened, but several weeks later?
I have a concern starting from the beginning of what we saw on the video, and you have made it very clear, I heard in your last segment, that when they approached him in his car, they just snatched him out. We have no idea. Nobody knows why he was stopped. They said it was a traffic violation. We don't know that for sure either. Yes, I am concerned. I'm concerned that all the information did not come out at the same time, but I know the community have been pressuring the police department to issue everything they can. I know that they're doing investigations, but we want to make sure that we were as transparent as possible, and we made sure that we were getting information to individuals as soon as we could get it out of the office. Now, we knew, everybody that looked at the video knew that other people were involved. We didn't know how they were going to be addressed, but now we're seeing that they are being addressed. And my concern at this point is, what are we going to do? And what will the law say that we need to do moving forward? And how will the DA plug in at this point?
Yeah. So obviously there's a question of culture there, not only within this now disbanded Scorpion unit, but these officers were wearing body cameras. They were in a neighborhood. There could have been cell phone cameras. The poll camera was there, and that didn't deter or discourage any of the action that we saw. On the question of culture, is Chief Davis the right person to continue to lead this department as it tries to shift to obviously a different culture?
I believe she is the right person to help them shift to a different culture, because you can't take people that are already in the culture and utilize them to change the culture that they're used to.
I highly doubt that, because she's the one that allowed the Scorpion unit to exist in the first place. All right. She's the one that allowed that venom to be injected into the streets of Memphis. So I highly doubt it. Okay. But of course, she's going to say that because she's a politician and she's going to be diplomatic. And that's the one thing I hate about politics is diplomacy. It's a bunch of bullshit bureaucracy nonsense. Just like this government. This government sucks ass. Always has, always will. There's nothing good about government, people. Not a damn thing. I think they've proven that over and over and over again. Enough of this nonsense. We made sense of it. Let's move on. Now we're going to go to what really went down, allegedly. Because that's what you're going to hear a lot in this video, allegedly. But you're going to hear Willie D from the Ghetto Boys.
Remember that video I made about allegedly what happened and why Tyre was beaten the way that he was beaten? Remember, I posted that video saying that it was allegedly, and this is all alleged, nothing is 100%.
I just love it when the YouTube brothers, oh man, they really hold down on that word, man. They really hold down on it so they don't get flagged. And this is why I can't wait for people to just use YouTube to learn how to play guitar or fix their house or learn how to plant, food or something like that. But when it comes to this type of information, we need a better platform. And I think that, and I'm just putting this out there, I think many of our brothers and sisters, we really need to build up our websites to provide this. And obviously our websites don't have the type of influence that these social media networks have. But somebody, I'm hoping, we got Rumble and BitChute, but I hope that someone comes out with something better. I pray to the Most High that the Most High puts it on somebody's spirit to really come out with a platform that brings out nothing but truth and doesn't censor a damn thing. All right. I really hope that happens. But if it doesn't, it is what it is. We got to work with what we got and do what we got to do, because our stay here is temporary anyway.
% facts. But Willie D just made the video and he pretty much said the same thing that I said in my videos 2 days ago. So let's hear Willie D's perspective of this was a hit, allegedly. This is all alleged.
Word on the street is one of the 5 black uncivilized Memphis police officers who beat motorist Tyre Nichols to death during a traffic stop is also a super simp. Yeah, fam. The simps continue to take L's in 2023. It's going to be a lot more, fam, because it's real.
A super simp. You damn right, Willie. A super simp. You got to be a super simp to put your career in jeopardy the way you did over some jealousy. But this is what simps do, all right? They come in all different shapes, sizes, and complexions. And what are they? And usually they simping in the darkness. But this dude was simping in the light, simping behind the cameras. It was dark. It was dark as night, but he was simping in the darkness under the lights. Woo! Simping in the darkness while under the lights. Let's go.
Now, reportedly, Tyre was dating Officer Demetrius Haley's ex, and Demetrius wanted her back badly. So badly that he hatched a plan to eliminate the competition. Yeah. That's what they're saying. They're saying that this was a hit from the jump. Demetrius Haley knew exactly what.
And this is the rumors that are going on in police departments now across the country, because so-and-so knows this one, that one, and this one, and word travels fast, especially when something rotten happens. You know what I'm saying? On word travels fast, just like they say they have this brotherhood, sisterhood in the police department. Word travels fast along police departments, because the brother who told me this this right after I finished my broadcast, literally like an hour after I finished that broadcast about the Scorpion unit, and I posted it after I edited the live. He was telling me, like, rumor is heard through the grapevine, and this is a NYPD. This is New York City telling me that this might be a situation where everybody's saying that the dude was messing with his ex. So, telling you, boy,
what he was doing. It's also alleged that Officer Demetrius Haley took photos of Tyre after he and the other 4 thugs in blue stomped him out. And get this, fam, sent the photos to the girl.
Whoa. Now, if that is true, which it might be because Simp's brains, they work differently. A Simp's brain just works differently. They don't really have common sense. They don't have critical thinking skills. They operate off of pure emotions, and those emotions can take them to some dark places. That's usually why they're simping in the darkness. And it wouldn't surprise me that he did that. Now, if he did, boy, is that going to be some heavy duty evidence to prove that this was premeditated? Because if she comes out, because the key witness, believe it or not, is going to be the person that wasn't even there. Check this out. The key witness, and when I say witness, meaning that she probably witnessed, just like all of us, the ass whipping on television, but being the key witness because she is the reason why this went down in the first place. If she has those pictures, woof, it is not going to be good for this simp.
Wow. So this is all alleged. Allegedly.
You see how he keeps saying allegedly? I don't know. That just doesn't sit right with me, man. I just hate that. Like, allegedly. You should call this the freaking allegedly show. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. We get it. It's alleged. Let's continue.
He took a picture of him and sent it to his girl? Wow. Are you kidding me?
If true, the message is, this is how far I'll go to get you back. Or perhaps the message is, keep playing and don't take me back, and the same thing could happen to you. Dude was jealous. He wanted her back. Could not get her back because allegedly she was now into this free-spirited skateboarder. And him with all of his Memphis police officer badge, gun, and uniform could not be her knight in shining armor. So he allegedly hatched a plan to eliminate the competition for good.
Wow.
What y'all think about that, fam? I think it is absolutely plausible that could happen, and I'm sure that ain't the first time something like that happened.
Hell no.
People use their power to get back at their adversaries.
How many videos have we seen throughout social media, including YouTube, where you would see, how many videos have we seen where a so-called white officer teenage daughter is dating a young black or brown male, and he's so infuriated that he winds up pulling over that teenager in their car or when he's with the daughter? Too many times. We've seen it where cops have pulled over their wives while their wives were cheating on them with the man they've been cheating on them with, you know? And sometimes we've seen the videos where the cop he's not a simp, lets the guy go and deals with the wife accordingly. But most of the time, because a lot of these police officers are so emotionally unstable and they have egos the size of the Grand Canyon, that they want to make an example and they want to use their power that they have within their employment, within their profession, to take some type of action or, you know, turn into a simp for the moment out on these people and feel like they can do that because why? Because they have immunity.
All the time.
Facts.
And I can guarantee you it happens in law enforcement more than anywhere. Because a police officer, you have access to addresses, private information that other people don't have.
And you think you have the power to get away with it.
Bam. They always do. And they usually do get away with it. That's why it's called immunity. No, there is no accountability in this country. That is the culture. Matter of fact, let me write that down because I've been wanting to do an episode about this and I didn't know the proper title for it. But usually when I'm doing a show, the Most High will just put it in my spirit to do this. So we're going to call it the no accountability culture. And I'm probably going to have to do a series on this shit, to be honest with you. For real. Like, I'm probably going to have to do a series on this. Let me write it on a Post-it and put it on my Mac here so I make sure that I really don't forget. So we're going to do a no accountability series because this country, people, and the way and the direction it's going, especially with the...
You think you had the backup system that'll just...
Especially with the younger generation, there's no accountability. And it's something I'm honing on my daughter a lot. Now that my daughter's pregnant, I told her the other day, like, there's two things that are going to happen. Either you're going to start being more accountable for your actions and start being more responsible individual, or you're not. But this baby, my future grandchild, hopefully is going to wake my child up, who's now an adult, but still a child, but now an adult, according to our government. And her soon-to-be 21-year-old self is going to have to grow up really fast because now she has another human being to take care of, as well as her fiance, both of them. Because I'm the type of parent, listen, I don't sugarcoat shit when it comes to dealing with my child. I don't sugarcoat anything. I give them the real deal, all right? And it ain't just because I'm going to be a grandfather. I'm like, I'm going to be a grandfather, yay. Yeah, it feels nice and all of that. But at the end of the day, I'm more concerned about my grandchild being raised the right way. And my biggest thing, and I told my daughter this, is that her child, as far as when it comes to me, I want my grandchild to have the word of the Most High be instilled in my grandchild's life from the jump as early as possible. From the moment they can start speaking and reading, I want my child to be filled with the knowledge of the Most High's word and laws and commandments. All right. But going back to this accountability thing, it is the culture here. And that's why these men, these miscreants, this is why they thought they could get away with it, because they probably got away with it so many times before.
Brush it under the rug.
If you don't have direct access, you call your buddy and they give it to you. You call your buddy in the department, they give it to you. You call your buddy at the courthouse and they give it to you. So it's people in law enforcement and the court system, they use their power, their connections, their resources to get back at their enemies all the time.
Yep.
And this, I do believe, ain't no different. I definitely believe it because this dude got a record already of stretching his authority. Another guy accused him of, damn near beating him to death while he was locked up. This is another black guy. He did this too. So he already got a record. He got a history of beating up black folks, stretching his authority, beating up black people who he have some type of power over. This happened, the other beating allegedly happened while the guy was in prison, and Demetrius Haley was a corrections officer. So he beats this guy down to death and gets a promotion to become a police officer. That's way to go, Memphis. That's how y'all do it, huh? That's how y'all be getting down out there.
And this is something I was having a conversation with Brother Cum last night about this. It's like you get promoted, but you have a rap sheet of your own as a correction officer. And my brother's told me countless stories, because many of you know my brother was a correction officer for over 12 years, and he didn't reach his 20th because he just didn't want to deal with the bullshit no more, and he moved on with his life. But the damage was done. I could tell you that much. The damage was done. But, my brother's told me countless stories of stuff like this, where people are getting promoted to become sheriffs and police officers in the same county where they didn't approach their previous profession as a correction officer before their promotion ethically. And it's not just Tennessee or Memphis that gets down like this. There's a lot of places that get down like this. Not everywhere, but it really depends on the personnel, the supervisory personnel. That's really what it depends, because they're the ones that are either denying or proving.
Yeah. Show us that you can be merciless against black people and your straight hand. Show us you can be uncivilized. And you, too, can be a Memphis police officer. Show us that you can be inhumane, and you too can be a Memphis police officer. Man, I 100% believe it. This has all the makings of a hit.
It does.
And if that is the case, charges need to be upgraded from second-degree murder to first-degree murder.
Facts.
And
Facts.
they should qualify for the death penalty.
Facts.
Fact.
Now, this is the same thing I was saying, for the exception of the death penalty, because I wasn't even thinking that far. But what did I say on the episode that I just did 2 days ago, right? Deceptive diversions, Scorpion unit. Like, this was a hit, man. It don't take a rocket scientist to kind of figure this out, man. Even if you using 2 or 3 of your brain cells, you're going to realize that this was a hit. None of it makes sense. That's how you know it was a hit. Because even when they pulled them over, they didn't say, can I see your license and registration? They ran up on him with guns out and yanked him out the car. They didn't even give him a chance to blink. They was on him. Why? Because that was the purpose to begin with, was to destroy this man, to take him out. And that's exactly what they did. They executed their premeditated plan. And that's why I agree with Willie D. If that's proven, which it should be, they should get the death penalty. They should. I believe it. They should fry them up something special. And hopefully what they should do is inject them with the science appliance, because it already got potassium chloride anyway, which is the 3rd injection on death row that they give the inmates during execution to basically accelerate through the bloodstream to cause cardiac arrest. Pump them up with a bunch of science appliances.
Let me see if Memphis has the death penalty. This would be interesting.
Because that means this was premeditated.
Of course. Now he's going to look up to see if Tennessee has the death penalty, which they do. All right. So let's skip that real quick and move on.
Tennessee got capital punishment. Yeah. His ass should absolutely qualify. And the rest of them, because you better believe they knew. Yeah. They all in the same game, fam.
Yep.
They compensate. They so cocky. Because the only reason why they're cocky is they get away with so much. They wasn't getting away with that much. If they were being held accountable, Tyre Nichols, I do believe, would be alive today. If something were to happen to him, it would have been because he got murdered by the police. I absolutely believe Demetrius Haley is a danger to society. He's not just a menace. He is a danger.
I think simps are a danger to society, especially the super simp. The super simp is a domestic, unemotional, or should I say a domestic, emotionally unstable terrorist.
Civilized society, and he must be brought to heel. In fact, he must be put down. Try him, convict him, and put him on death row for the safety of all Americans. Say it with me, fam. Play stupid games. Win stupid prizes. No more talk.
Let me tell you. This is disgusting, man. This is sad, but this is disgusting to the core. And once again, let me apologize to the Nichols family for even thinking that this may have been a Masonic hit. I jumped the gun on that one, but the way it went down, it was a hit. It was a hit, and usually it's a Masonic one. But apparently, this was just some plain old jealous one's envy. This was just jealousy. This was rooted in insecurity. This was one super simp who couldn't be comfortable in his own skin to say, you know what? Let me go find somebody else. For the life of me, I don't understand, because I've never been like this. I've had back and forth situations with girlfriends, where we want to be together, but we have issues. I've been through that. But when if either I leave you or you leave me, just in this recent, if you want to call it a relationship, this recent lie that I was in with this woman that many of you know of, I couldn't even imagine getting back with this demon. Not even a little bit. Like it's like it would be, I would have to really be half brain dead to even do something like that. I don't understand how people can't just move on with your life. She don't want to be with you. Just millions of women out here, millions. And the brother is not he doesn't look like a gargoyle. You know what I'm saying? He's got a job. He probably makes, close to 6 figures a year. If not, he does. He's got a job. He's probably got his own place. He's got a car. You know what I'm saying? He can get himself a woman, but nah. He wants to kill the man that is with his ex-girlfriend. This is why they need to get locked up. And even if they don't all get the death penalty, he definitely needs it. They need to do away with these. They need to make an example of these types of people. Forget about the fact that they're black or white or yellow. Like, this is why I can't stand this place called the United Shenanigans of America, because this place focuses so much on the ideology of this thing called racism and race that doesn't exist. There is no such thing as race, brothers and sisters. And if you haven't figured that out yet, I hope that people start realizing that. There's different complexions of skin. There's different textures of hair, of face. But if you notice, just on a side note, if you've seen any black person, so-called black person, right? And you see white people, many of them look alike. The only difference is the actual complexion. I've seen plenty of people like that. I've seen people that I know that are so-called black that look like a white person. The white person has the same lips, the same slant in their eyes, and the same bone structure when it comes to the cheeks and the forehead. The only difference is the skin is white. So, do with what you will, because at the end of the day, I do not believe in race. I don't believe that I'm, Hispanic or Latino. I don't believe that I'm, a Puerto Rican or whatever. I love the Puerto Rican culture, though. I love the culture, most of the things. But this whole thing with race, man, I don't subscribe to that bullshit. And I hope that more people, not just in this country, but around the world, start subscribing to the reality that we are human beings, and the being the spiritual aspect of what we are. That is the image that we were created in. So we're going to play some music real quick, because, this is our live broadcast, and we're going to wrap things up here, because I think enough has been said in regards to this. There's nothing else that I would want to present here. So let's play some music, and we'll be right back. And then we'll handle the business. All right, brothers and sisters, let's go. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play some beats, but I'm also going to play a couple of songs here. And we're going to take some love here. So what we're going to do is we're going to play Leave 'Em Alone by Take One.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
My aura is a network full of awareness and gifts like aura, the informational list.
Living for Yah, yeah, the righteous will. Do his will to the end, yeah, the righteous will. Keeping faith till the end, yeah, the righteous will. He that's righteous, let him stay righteous still. Only those with the ear will listen. Getting 1/3 is the only mission. If they don't want to listen, let a fool stay a fool. Pretty soon they gon' wish that they paid attention. Cause Yah's coming swiftly. Around the corner, you can hear gunshots popping off. People losing their wits speed. Soon the USA, aka Babylon, will crash and fall. Much harder than the Twin Towers. 400 years of power, but it's Gentiles. Felt like eternity, but to Yah it was 10 hours. We about to get out of this island of sick power. 1/3 will prevail, 2/3 will get devoured.
For the longest time, I've tried to wake up my folks, but now I realize their eyes were meant to be closed, so I gotta leave them alone.
I'm just saying,
just leave them alone.
You can't save them,
can't save the world. You just need to leave them alone.
His soul has some good, I saw it in his eyes. He actually can cure when I spoke about Yah. For a second I thought perhaps I could make a difference. You can show the horse the water, but you can't make him sip it. It's got me reminiscing when I first came into truth. Thought I was better than folks because of what I knew. But after refinement, trials, and maturity, I've realized that I'm no better than he or she. It doesn't matter how much knowledge you have, how much dollars you have. As long as you have Yah, everything will make sense. No need to get mad or pissed when the people you know hates the truth you spit. Cause the end is near, Yah's close and near. Adrenaline is rising high, citizens in fear. The truth isn't for everyone, no matter what you show. Just focus on Yah, he's the only way to go.
For the longest time, I've tried to wake up my folks, but
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
Revolutionary, getting litty with the fan. Yeah, I be on my grizzly, getting busy for the plan. Ask me why I did it, yo, I did it cause I can't. Nothing gonna stop me, finna hit them till they can't take it anymore, they gon' give us all the man. Youth gon' rise up, stick it to the man. I'ma raise till I die, cause this is who I am. Get up out my way, I'm coming through with the squad. I could never lose, cause I'm moving with God. Fight the power, Mr. Man, wanna ruin us all. But there's too many of us, and we all true to the cause. Che Guevara in my starter, rage against the machine. Fight the power, take tomorrow back and wipe the slate clean. We ain't gon' cower to these cowards, we gon' stand for what's right. Get hype in this mug while we spreading the light. Where my soldiers at? Get it going, we gon' show them we ain't cheap. Yo, it's over, overthrow they ass. Let them know you mad, bring it to them right where they stay. Don't trip, take the chip, love wins at the end of the day. Stick it to the man, stick it to the man. Revolutionary, getting litty with the fan. Yeah, I be on my grizzly, getting busy for the plan. Ask me why I did it, yo, I did it cause I can't. Nothing gonna stop me, finna hit them till they can't take it anymore, they gon' give us all the man. Youth gon' rise up, stick it to the man. I'ma rage till I die, cause this is who I am. Fat cats eating while the rest of us starve. We can't have that, fed up, get ready for war. Can't have fast revolution doing the most. We won't go quiet, don't listen to us, you talk. We done playing with you, it ain't a game, yo, we making history. Read baby, fuck the fame, I wanna change the system. Break your prison, got the key for the lock. Won't stop till we free and my people on top. On God, homie, is you really with us, so what you about? Make a decision, get busy living, so out for the real thing. You are what you do, who are you? I'm definitely and I kangaroo. Stick it to the man, stick it to the man. Youth gon' rise up, stick it to the man. Youth gon' rise up, stick it to the man. Youth gon' rise up, stick it to the man. Run up in the Senate, niggas, ice. Think you getting over on us, but you not. The system has been rigged, the government's been bought. The house don't represent us, it represents the ops. Stand with standing by, take the man right out. God damn it, we ain't having what you handing out. We want clean air, clean food, water. A future for our kids, bitch, this a new order. Tear down the wall, love is for all. Death to the man in the system we call. Freedom ain't free if you can't breathe. Real people stay woke, we ain't gon' sleep. Get it crackin', packin' activism. A full clip, show them crackers, we ain't having all that bullshit. The aristocracy is gonna share starting now. Stick it to the man, pull the trigger. Wow, stick it to the man. Stick it to the man. Stick it to the man. Stick it to the man.
Stick it to the motherfucking man.
Yes, you now tuned in to the live broadcast of the Network of Awareness. Let's go. A little spoken word time. When I was younger, everything was pure. Happiness was shown from my heart to endure. My heart was strong because I knew where I belonged. But something went wrong, very sudden like a nuclear bomb. It's like the encounters of strife. The father left his wife, and life traumatized by this crazy sudden action. Never again would feel true satisfaction with fucking living. No regrets, no forgiving. A nightmare never ending. Awaken to descending. A focused mental, it's not bending. I'm molded to wickedness with pain and viciousness. Life not close enough to being prestigious or even mysterious. I stay meticulous to family, holding verbal insanity patiently. I chill back like a mime, waiting for all the snakes that wanna sneak behind. But the wisdom saves me from being treated like a baby. The vision's hazy from all those people that betrayed me. No life regulation, concentrated frustration. No limit to life, wasting fast like perspiration. No destruction was made, no physical fade. Sometimes I wonder if I'm high or if it's sprayed with the rain. But this reality goes on by day to day. In this reality life that tries to put me in its ways. But I'm not in a daze, cause I amaze in many ways. Cause it's just another phase. Cause it's just another phase. Shout out outs to all my peoples out in the UK, Canada. Shout outs to all my peoples in India. Shout outs to all the people out in Russia. Shout outs to all my peoples out in Mexico, Venezuela. Shout outs to all my Dominicanos in Dominican Republic. Shout outs to all my peoples out in South Africa. And shout outs to all my peoples out to the U.S. Florida, Georgia, California, Texas, stand up. Let's go.
Is a network full of awareness and gifts like aura, the informational list.
Shout outs to my brother, Julian. Shout outs to my brother, Julian, from the same, he's my brother from the same Heavenly Father. Shout outs to the BOCC. And shout outs to the Most High. Shout outs to the Messiah, Christ, Yahweh. Shout outs to all my brothers and sisters that are operating in that Holy Spirit. Let's go.
It comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. It comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. Don't cross that line or we gotta let the sword fly. It comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. It comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. So don't cross that line when we gotta let the sword fly. All praises to the Most High. First off, I just want to say that every single day a blessing, so I'm really stepping, trying to find my way back. Counted the cost, repented of flaws, I'm trying to live. Yeah, the kingdom of heaven abroad. Have hope in my dreams, I pray I don't fall. I pray for the ones who is lost. I'm feeling the sorrow of times. I'm looking on up in the sky. I'm seeing a lot of the signs. It's either repent or you die. Cannot be walking two sides. Choose to stay who you ride for. Cemented in faith till I die. You don't really wanna fall off. Keep your head up. Keep my sword with me with armor. We won't let up. Sharpen up your brothers, others who we care for. Always shine the light for the Most High in Christ. It comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. It comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. Don't cross that line or we gotta let the sword fly. It comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. It comes a time when we
Drop a bomb on them. Let's bring that back, baby. Let's bring that back. That spiritual fire. Let's go. Shout outs to all the spiritual fire and fellowship MCs that we got here on the Network of Awareness. Shout outs to Yazun, Take One, Oxakai, The Free. Shout outs to Akmar and Brother Julian. Let's go again. Let's do it.
It comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. It comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. Don't cross that line or we gotta let the sword fly. It comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. It comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. So don't cross that line when we gotta let the sword fly.
In the mix.
First off, I just want to say that every single day a blessing, so I'm really stepping, trying to find my way back. Counted the cost, repented of flaws, I'm trying to live. Yeah, the kingdom of heaven abroad. Have hope in my dreams, I pray I don't fall. I pray for the ones who is lost. I'm feeling the sorrow of times. I'm looking on up in the sky. I'm seeing a lot of the signs. It's either repent or you die. Cannot be walking two sides. Choose to stay who you ride for. Cemented in faith till I die. You don't really wanna fall off. Keep your head up. Keep my sword with me with armor. We won't let up. Sharpen up your brothers, others who we care for. Always shine the light for the Most High in Christ. It comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. There comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. Don't cross that line or we gotta let the sword fly. There comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. There comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. So don't cross that line, we gotta let the sword fly.
I wonder why we was created, but later I got my answers. Was searching scriptures daily, trying to get rid of this cancerous spirit. Bearing witness, I live these holy commandments. Repent, or you gon' perish. Destruction is way too scary. Every day I wake, I give all praises to the Most High. Living in this lie, learn the truth, or you gon' die. Ain't much time left, the Savior coming, looking to the sky. It ain't no disguise, gotta armor up my own mind. Gotta get it, spirit dripping, these gifts don't got no limits. I'm just wishing I could live in that holy kingdom with them. Focus on the mission, eyes locked in tunnel vision, no paganism. We truly follow Christ, that real Christian.
There comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. There comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. Don't cross that line or we gotta let the sword fly. There comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. There comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. So don't cross that line, we gotta let the sword fly.
You've seen him, you know how strong he is. You can't win!
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness. Tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
Here we are back again, about to drop some facts again. Yahweh's word spreads like a vicious net for capturing those with an ear to listen, those who paid attention, those who stand bold like a soldier with their convictions, not quick to fold or throw in the towel when under pressure. They walk it like they talk it, they live the message, but depression's what most folks are facing. They got the vaccination, we in zombie land, pretty soon we gon' have to dance. Better keep that sword in your body, fam, place this far from pain. Babylon will burn down and blame. Some deaths are better off real slow, so you can witness the pain. You tortured slaves, 400 plus years of pain, hung brothers up in the trees, swinging for days and days. Now this is your end of days, you looking so disarrayed. Try to cover your ears, but the truth still gon' penetrate. The hatred is strong, but races still want to imitate and integrate. Only Yahweh's chosen holy nation can ever be this great.
Yahweh's amazing. Before I eat, I'm saying my graces. I pray for knowledge and wisdom and peace. We dwell in greatness. 144,000 frequencies and vibrations. So don't give me amp. Go take a hike and camp like concentrations. Pull up my pants and send my genes to elevate genetics. I'm concentrating no recess to dominate recessives. No car insurance. The way I swerve, they be like impressive. Stephanie Courtney know my flow is looking more progressive. My aura is a network full of awareness and gifts like aura, the informational list. Shout out my brother, take one. All these chances in life, don't hesitate and wait to take one. We are the true Jews, about to take off. Hitler knows we don't play soft. I pull up and let like 8 off. Watch a demon head splatter, give me back my platter that y'all just ate off.
Yo, remember what we talked about being something special as a 1/3? I feel like we're finally here. A righteous Wall Street, bro. Yes, sir, let's get it.
All praise to the Most High, this is only the beginning. Righteously preparing, raising our awareness. The social engineering, just faithful barbarian. Salute to those faith in it, kings and queens creating it. That's people awakening, 2/3 be forsaking him. 1/3 keeps on praising him, putting all my faith in him. Most people be faking it, munching on some bacon bits. Ignorance remains in bliss. In this life I came to win. Righteousness I'm living in. Truth is the enlightenment. Yahweh's the embodiment of peace and redefinement. Elohim is in the science, go grown out for lions. Raising the horizons, frequency just heightens. Spirit always brightens, no fear can ever frighten. A man on the mission, living out his visions. True to the tradition, gaining all the wisdom. To be freed from the prison, transition with God's mercy. With the early worthy, realist, righteous visionaries.
Is a network full of awareness and gifts like aura, the informational list.
We live here on Wisdom Wednesdays. You know how we do on the Network of Awareness. Shout out to Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, New York, New Jersey, Utah, Texas, Oklahoma. Shout outs to all my peoples out in Connecticut. Shout outs to Alabama, California, Washington. Shout outs to all my brothers and sisters out in Illinois, Nevada, Missouri, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, Louisiana, Kentucky, Michigan, Colorado, Nebraska, South Carolina, Rhode Island. Shout out to everybody in Oregon, Delaware, Iowa, Wisconsin, and all you other brothers and sisters throughout the United Shenanigans of America. Let's go. Wisdom Wednesdays. Shoutouts to Yemen, Taiwan, Turkey, Portugal, New Zealand, Kenya, Finland, Cyprus, Australia. Shoutouts to the Philippines. Shoutouts to Japan, Mexico. Shoutouts to all mi gente que está en Mexico, Ecuador y Brazil. Shoutouts to Austria, India, and Canada, and the UK, baby. Let's go. Yo, the UK is beating you out, brothers and sisters out in Canada. Canada, y'all gotta step y'all listenership up. Let's go.
Our aura is a network full of awareness and gifts like aura, the informationalist.
Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. You demons don't scare us, people, because all things are possible through the grace of the Most High. All right, brothers and sisters, I want to say thank you for tuning in to the Network of Awareness. Greatly appreciate all the support. Let's keep it going. We got some great things coming up, and I'm all about serving. I'm all about charity. Can't help it. It is what it is, because that's how it's supposed to be amongst us, especially amongst our people of Israel. Amongst our people that truly give our respect and praise to the Most High, to that everlasting light, to the everlasting life of Yahweh, of Christ. So we got some great things coming up. We're only getting better, all right? And I'm not going to spill the beans. I'll spill them out next week after it's all said and done. But remember, while we are here, let's make the most of it. Not for ourselves, not for each other, but for the Most High. And everything else will take care of itself. So love one another, love your neighbor. But also understand that there's great responsibility when living this life. When living this life of Christ consciousness. It's not an easy road. The righteous tightrope is narrow. It is thin. The righteous path is a narrow path to salvation. But it is possible. So with that being said, when you live in the present, there is always an opportunity for a new beginning. And don't look for that light at the end of the tunnel, brothers and sisters. Because that very image that we created is the light that's within you. So light up the tunnel and find your way through the darkness. This is Or the Information, saying peace, love, and light. Barakatah. And shalom.